Governing the Digital Economy, an Exploration of Blockchains with Chinese Characteristics by Gary Sigley and Warwick Powell. In 2019, President Xi Jinping called for the prioritization of blockchain technology as part of China's next phase of development. In China, blockchain technologies have been experimentally deployed in various areas, including court records, securities exchanges, finance, and food supply chains. The emergence of blockchain as a governmental technology raises numerous questions, including what are the conditions of emergence and existence of China's interest in blockchain technology? What are the features of blockchains with Chinese characteristics? What implications are there for the post-COVID-19 pandemic world, in which technological issues are likely to be pivotal points of contention? This article seeks to examine these questions and frame a research program that can shed light on how blockchains may impact the evolution and shape of China's social and economic structure and the interaction of China with the rest of the world, including the prospect of decoupling and deglobalization. Examples of blockchain innovation are drawn from food and pharmaceutical supply chains, the Healthy China 2030 policy, the Digital Yuan, and the Belt and Road Initiative, with attention to the emerging legal and institutional frames that support the application of blockchain technologies.
Go on.
All right, continuing on. Blockchain technology and its application has gathered increasing interest in the People's Republic of China, PRC, in recent years. President Xi Jinping's call on October 24, 2019, to prioritize blockchain technology as part of China's next phase of social and economic development removed any doubts that blockchain was to become a central part of short and long-term strategic planning. To make sense of the evolving global landscape in the aftermath of the coronavirus outbreak, including the disruption to transnational supply chains, invigorated discussions by governments of all political hues around the world on greater national self-sufficiency and, most recently, transformations in global payment systems, potentially hastened by the imposition of sanctions against Russia as a reaction to its military actions in Ukraine, and of China's pivotal role in reshaping the global geopolitical landscape in response to those events, blockchain must be part of the analysis. Let me know if you'd like me to keep going or if you have any questions so far.
Please keep on going.
All right, let's continue. Defining blockchain is something we return to below. For now, we view it as a multi-agent, decentralized, computerized information system in which consensus is required amongst the system's participants about the veracity of the information created and maintained in or by it. In China, blockchain technologies have already been deployed in various stages of maturity in areas including court records, securities exchanges, finance, and food supply chains. See, for example, Wang Su and Li 2020 or Nader et al. 2020. The emergence of blockchain as a governmental technology raises numerous questions, including what is the background to China's interest in blockchain technology? What are the features of Chinese blockchains or blockchains with Chinese characteristics? What implications are there for the post-COVID-19 world order in which technological issues are likely to be pivotal points of contention? And how are we to understand the role of blockchain technologies in the contours of China's engagement with the rest of the world? I'll keep going. Just let me know if you need anything.
Keep going. Don't be stopping. Give me the whole thing. Let's go.
You got it. I'll keep the momentum going. This article examines the issues arising from these questions, seeking to frame a research program that can shed light on how blockchains with Chinese characteristics will impact the evolution of China's social and economic structure and the interaction of China with the rest of the world, including possible scenarios of decoupling and deglobalization. President Xi's 2019 exhortation on blockchain may have presaged the next phase of intensified development in the technology and its application to diverse fields, but we can look back to late 2016 to gain purchase on one of the main fields of blockchain application, the food and healthcare sectors. In October 2016, the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China and the State Council launched the Healthy China 2030 policy, Jiankang Zhongguo 2030. Healthy China 2030 focuses on the health of the population in a broad sense and is to date one of the most ambitious health and well-being programs to be launched in China, if not in the world. I'll keep going from here. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts
Keep
as
going.
we go. All right, continuing on. Healthy China 2030 is not a typical program aimed at improving primary health care and promoting healthy lifestyles. It seeks to incorporate all adjacent elements in the economy and society that have some bearing on the health of the population. Hence, insofar as finding gains in productivity is concerned, as much an economic and social agenda as it is a health policy. In this regard, Healthy China 2030 is a powerful biopolitical metaphor for China's reconfiguration of national ambitions within a transnational frame. Food and medical pharmaceutical supply chains, so-called bio and pharma supply chains, occupy center stage in Healthy China 2030. Both are pivotal to a population's general state of health. Both have been and continue to be focal areas of fraud and malfeasance, and both are increasingly transnational in nature. Effective government requires the legal and technological capacity to reduce the incidence of fraud and malfeasance in both food and pharmaceutical supply chains. From this standpoint, Healthy China 2030 foreshadows a coming era in which the intersection of biopolitical and geopolitical concerns over global supply chains will be key. Indeed, as the events of 2020 to 2022 have demonstrated, securing supply chains during times of crisis is a matter of national security and can be a matter of life and death. China was well aware of this prior to the outbreak of the pandemic and its associated disruption. Indeed, supply chains are situated at the intersection of national economic ambitions, transnational reformulation, and domestic government priorities in China's strategic frame. In this context, product supply chains are emerging as the focus of blockchain technical implementations as institutions and circuits of value transformation and flow are refashioned. I'll keep going. Let me know if you need anything at any point.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Absolutely. Let's keep rolling. Supply chains are vectors of data-enabled value flows. Cases in which such flows are shaped by information asymmetry have historically defined the perils of business and cross-border trade. To this, we now add two additional questions. How are blockchain technologies redefining the contours of national and transnational governance? And what are their institutional design presuppositions? And two, what are the connections between the geopolitics and biopolitics of China's development of blockchain technology and the launch of campaigns such as Healthy China 2030? This article explores these issues by reference to food supply chains and the legal and institutional frames that are emerging to support the application of blockchain technologies. Food security had been a priority ever since the formation of the first states millennia ago. Throughout Chinese history, the dynastic state expended vast resources on securing food supplies for the court, bureaucracy, military, and population at large. With the foundation of the PRC in 1949, Maoist policies focused on national self-sufficiency with the policy of taking grain as the main priority. Iliang Weigang. In the post-1978 reform era, whilst maintaining adequate domestic food supplies remains a priority, the government has acknowledged that developing food supply chains that connect China to international suppliers also has strategic value, as well as satisfying the consumption demands of an emerging middle class. I'll continue reading through the rest of the document. Just let me know if you have any questions or need a break.
Keep going. Keep going.
You got it. Let's keep going. China has intensified its trade in foods and agricultural products more generally over the past 20 years. See Chen 2008, Rosell 2017. Constraints of limited arable land and groundwater quality have also impacted agricultural productivity. Additionally, with rising household incomes, consumer preferences have also changed, with significant growth from a low base of demand, with red meat proteins being the most prominent. Addressing changing consumer preferences and dietary habits has been one aspect of shifts in China's food supply chain profile. Between 2003 and 2017, China's food imports grew from US $14 billion to over $104 billion. The demand for soybeans has increased markedly from $2.3 billion in 2000 to $38.1 billion in 2018. Soybeans are a key input in animal production. Animal proteins have also seen significant growth in imports. Annual per capita consumption of beef in China has increased from 3.8 kilograms kg in 2010 to approximately 6 kg in 2018. It is expected to reach 11 kg by 2024. Over the period 2003 to 2017, food exports nearly tripled to $59.6 billion, Center for Strategic and International Studies, ND. The result is that China now experiences a trade deficit in food. Over this period, China has also contended with episodes of food-related malfeasance in the form of fraud, counterfeiting, gray channel, illegal cross-border trade, and malpractice, resulting in significant health, social, and economic consequences. Cases of food fraud and food safety incidents are now legion, with notable examples including the poisoning of Jinhua ham, 2003, counterfeit alcohol and baby formula, 2004, food poisoning of school children, 2006, contaminated wheat, gluten, and rice protein, and the use of sewage and tofu manufacturing, 2007, melamine-contaminated baby formula, 2008, fake lamb wheat and blood pudding contaminated with formaldehyde, 2009, the reuse of so-called gutter oil in restaurant cooking, 2010 and 2014, adulteration of strawberries, 2012, various meat-related scandals involving pork, lamb, cat, and also fake beef, 2013, the sale of expired wheat products to global brands, 2014, and ongoing problems of counterfeit and fake food. See, for example, Johnson 2014, Li et al. 2020, Wu et al. 2017. Consequently, Chinese consumers are highly sensitive to food fraud and food safety. Kendall et al. 2019. Regulators have responded with periodic intensity. The central government revised the National Food Safety Law in 2015 in response to egregious incidents.
Go on.
All right, continuing. And in 2019, a new Food and Drug-related Crime Investigation Bureau was established within the Ministry of Public Security. Securing Industry, May 24th, 2019. Yet problems persist. The 2019 Global Food Security Index 2020 ranks China 38 out of 113 countries in terms of food quality and safety. The strategic intents outlined in Healthy China 2030, issued in late 2016, are clear statements that public authorities are concerned about the problems. In this connection, blockchain technology has been touted globally as a powerful tool in the fight against food supply chain fraud. See Chemith 2018, Camilleris, Fons, and Aprenifeta Boldu 2019, Crydiet and Fisher 2019. It is little wonder, therefore, that blockchain as a technology has found fertile ground in the Chinese government's food supply and security policy. In brief, blockchain has applications beyond the narrow purview of product track and trace in related areas of finance, including cross-border payments, data-driven risk mitigation and insurance, and supply chain finance and activity performance verification, streamlining payments through data-driven automated smart contracts, which both raises the design and implementation complexities of blockchain technologies and sets the technology's potential back within a non-digital institutional row. In China, blockchain technologies are being embedded institutionally within a public utility service infrastructure with allied governance delivered via a raft of legislation, which establishes requirements regarding national security and the realization and governance of socio-economic order, along with collaboration at an implementation level involving industry, local government, and research sector associations.